Brett, why did you open a gallery here?
Why do we open a gallery here? We opened a gallery here because when we first started, Dominique and I started, we started at the beginning of 2017. Our first thought was we needed to have three very strong foundations. We wanted to have a strong base in America, we wanted a strong base in London for Europe, and Asia was the gateway. And I'd been spending probably 20 years coming to Hong Kong when I was working at Christie's, and I realized how important this was for the future of the market as much as for the present.
Mm-hmm. Future like what?
Well, I think if you're looking at if you look at the auctions recently, 20% of the buyers at Christie's and Sotheby's were Asia. Now, that Asian...
In contemporary art?
No, in
general.
In 20th century, Impressionism, modern, and in contemporary art. And that 20% changes. It could be the Taiwanese buying, it could be the Korean buying, it could be Singapore buying, it could be mainland China buying, but it still represents 20%, and that's just the beginning. So we see this as a really important part to begin to be here, because we really feel that we're coming in at the very beginning of something. You know, there's been huge culture, there's been many galleries here for a long time, but the change that we've seen in Hong Kong has really happened in the last 2 or 3 years with the influx of the international galleries and the opening of these buildings that have been devoted now to these big gallery towers that have opened in the last year.
And what are these new collectors looking for?
I think the new collectors are looking in the same way that all collectors are looking. They're looking for interesting artists, so primary artists, whether it's a Chinese artist or Asian artist, or whether it's a European artist. I think at this stage it's quality driven. It's very much a buyer's market. Sellers have high expectations, but buyers are the ones who are making the final choices and negotiating. And I think it's quite a classical market. Mm-hmm. Around us today, we've got Picasso, we've got Chagall, we've got Zawuki, Soulage. These are artists who we obviously not only represent, but also work very closely with. But I think it's generally quality that's selling. We've done very well this season, actually. We're actually quite surprised. We heard at the end of last year, 2019 was going to be a tough year. January and February for us has been actually very, very good. Mainly
in Asia, you mean?
No, across the board. Asia, we've only started. We've only opened this gallery here.
Yes, but you had a representative before.
Yeah, but everything's cyclical. So I think what we see now, you know, we were mainly based in New York and London in terms of our main focus for January and February, and that's where we saw very strong sales. But it was very quality driven.
But you are bringing here expensive works, like 10 million.
And more, yeah.
So do you think there's a lot of buyers for this kind of
yeah, I think there's the potential for the very best things, but we bring things for two reasons. You bring for education, and you hope basically over a period of time that collectors will aspire to own these works. I think one of the biggest problems that have happened in areas like Hong Kong, whether it's in Taipei, the dealers generally feel that they have to bring lower value works, either lower quality because they don't want to necessarily bring their best to sell to clients they don't really know, and therefore it's a transactional buy, or they bring lower value things because that's where they think the market is. So they're aiming very low.
But this is not like that anymore.
Well, now you have to basically, I think if you look at the Taipei Art Fair, people were very disappointed by it, not because of the attendance, the hunger to see art was there, but generally the dealers were bringing not necessarily their best material.
But Art Basel Hong Kong is another story.
Yeah, but we'll see that. I think Basel Hong Kong, I think people have great aspiration. Last year we brought a $35 million to Kuning because we really believed in the market here. We also believed that...
And so you sold it?
We sold it, yes.
To China?
I can't tell you.
Oh, merci, monsieur.
Yeah.